Got a Washington Wizards email here from Tom. Subject line, dude, these Wizards got no magic. Hey, Nick, huge fan and subscriber. Been watching for a while now, and I know this is cliche, but you've never really touched on my team outside of the abstract of the Kyle Kuzma trade. Now is the perfect time to save me from the reality of being of Washington Wizards fandom. I have watched a middling team tank now, and I am suffering through hell with this insane experience that we call Wizards fandom. I want to ask you, what do you think saves us from this pit? I am done giving myself false hope and saying that we can get this done through the draft. We've tried and passed up on so many pieces which could have elevated our team. We constantly muff the coaching decision with Scott Brooks being the worst excuse for a KD magnet and Wes Unseld being a meaningless nepotism hire. It feels like the locker room is ran by prisoners and not in a positive way. What the fuck is going on with this email, Tom? This feels coded. It's like there is no chance that we will recover from this, and I'm really looking for answers. Is this a blow it up and start a new situation type deal? Do we look at free agent futures and hope they weren't playing for another contract, but instead for the love of the game? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for the email here, Tom. I want to make 2 points up top. One, I'm probably going to use this as a breakout, honestly. If you're watching this video and you've never watched me before, you've never heard me before, I'm about to say a lot of mean things, a lot of really not nice things, and you're going to be like, especially if you're a Wizards fan, you're going to be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you seem like an asshole. No. I'm usually, like, I try to keep it positive most of the time, right? But when it comes to this team, I get really fired up, and we'll talk about why in a second. Second thing, really quickly, that I want to say, you never talk about my team. Whenever anybody says that, like, I don't talk about their team enough, I am a Pistons fan. I have so much shit on my plate at any given moment rooting for a team that fucking stinks. And whenever they're like, you don't talk about my team, I'm a Hornets fan. Okay, reread the last part of that sentence. That's why. I got fucking nothing to say. But the Wizards, I got some stuff to say. Maybe also for posterity, this is being recorded before the Pistons-Wizards game. I would have loved to have been able to wait and give like a live reaction to that. For all intents and purposes, you know, most people are going to be watching this. That game's already happened. I hope the Pistons got smacked. But I got to fucking tell you, there is nothing that I would do short of an insurrection in order to see the sale of this team go through. What the fuck? I hope they got smacked by the worst team, the actual worst team in the league. I'm telling you right now. I sound like the lady on the plane. I'm telling you right now, those motherfuckers are not real. The Washington Wizards, they are the real worst team in the NBA. Please lose to them because I want Troy Weaver and Arn Tellem, you fucker, I know you're part of this too, and Tom Gores to shit and sweat and shake and cry and throw up and slide down the wall. I want us to, not Troy. I just want Troy to sweat and be like, fuck, this sucks. But Arn Tellem and Tom Gores, I want them to do all of the aforementioned stuff. If we lose to the Wizards. If we win, cool. That's it. Nice. Got back on track. Good win. Good quality win against an NBA team. All right. Let's talk a little bit about your email, Tom. It starts with Jordan Poole, a guy who, the deeper we get into his NBA career, the more that you understand why he got punched in his fucking face. I am not going to be mad at him, even though I am, for being born on third base. And you can do the whole like, well, Golden State was kind of going through some transit. Bullshit. They had Steph, they had Clay, they had Draymond. I don't care where they were drafting. They were kind of had some weird years. They were always going to be fine. Okay? Jordan Poole on that team essentially gets a golden ticket stamped to just do whatever he wants when he ends up on another basketball team because he was part of that Warriors team. Right? And that's why I just don't think we could be surprised by any of this. Because when he was, I don't know, at best a third option, a fourth option on those Golden State teams, and you send him to basketball purgatory, you send him to the desolate wasteland that has been the Wizards for a while now, really just kind of green lighting that, like, you can put up 25 shots if you want. You can pretty much do whatever you want because who else is going to do it? You're the guy. You're the guy who has experience. You're the guy who has been on a championship team. You're the guy who has learned under the tutelage of guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Shoot that shit, son. That's why you had, 2 months ago, Kevin Garnett being like, he's going to average 30 a game and he might shoot 35 shots. And I was like, wait, Kevin, that doesn't sound very efficient at all. But not even a week ago, now we're hearing Kevin Garnett be like, this motherfucker shouldn't even be in the league. And that's the product of, you see him step into how many I don't give a fuck shots that just get swatted by Kristaps Porzingis, or they just like go over the backboard. We watch him do the whole, he like tries to do the Steph thing where he like doesn't look at the ball going in and then he ends up looking like Swaggy P. Or he does the thing, which is maybe the funniest thing that's happened this year, where he tries to roll the ball up the court and doesn't understand the rule and that the game clock is still going and that it's the shot clock that's not going. Do I think did he sneaky get unnecessary shit for that? Because ultimately he was just trying to get his team back in the game. He's trying to make winning plays. But that is like a microcosm. It's the epitome of what's going on with Jordan Poole. He can't. He's incapable of making winning plays. He's incapable of making the right plays. And wouldn't it be so funny if no, because we don't know the injury report. We don't know if he's going to be playing against Detroit. So I won't even get into that hypothetical. But you're damn right the Wizards can't do it through the draft. Johnny fucking Davis? Boo! Oh, gross. Tomato. Boo! If you want to do a Venn diagram of the similarities between the Pistons and the Wizards and what we're doing in each of our respective rebuilds, where the Venn diagram meets in the middle, it would be like Johnny Davis. Because we have that at home. His name is Killian Hayes. The only difference is, like, with all due respect to Killian, honestly, at least he puts together good games every now and then. And Wizards fans are going to be like, oh, well, actually on March 3rd of last year, I don't give a fuck. He stinks. Bilal Coulibaly, though, that mystery box I'm still interested in. I think Wizards fans will be for a while. I think that's going to work. I really think it will. And then, like, Denny Avdia. Yeah. Jared Butler, worst take I had in that draft was we have these two guards coming out of Baylor. We have Davion Mitchell and we have Jared Butler. And I was like, yeah, Davion Mitchell, like, plays defense. Okay. Jared Butler is a hooper. Like, he scores a lot. Nope. And actually doesn't do that much. At all. I didn't even know he was on the Wizards until, like, yesterday. Seriously, I thought he was still in Utah. Because he's just, like, one of those two-way, like, it's not going to happen there. Kyle Kuzma, funny enough, was kind of in that, it's kind of in the same boat that Poole was a little bit when this trade happened, because it was like, wow, Kuz, like, doesn't get his own team, quote-unquote, but is at least going to an environment where he can put up a lot of shots, and I don't want to call him, a defensive anchor. Who was even on the team when he got traded? Like, was Thomas Bryant still on the team? If he was, it probably would have been him defensively, although I don't know with how many, like, season-ending injuries that guy ended up fucking having, if he was even playing when I don't remember the timeline. I apologize, Wizards fans, for not really remembering the timeline of the 18 million rosters that you guys have had with all the turnover. But back to the Jordan Poole thing, man. I would love for it to be one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm sure if I just watched the right interview, I would be like, oh, this guy, yeah, he's cool. He gets it. And I sound like the guy right now who's a 25-year-old sitting in his basement apartment hating on a guy who is like the fucking same age as me and plays a game for a living. But this game is my life, okay? And when you fuck with my ability to enjoy watching a basketball game the way that Jordan Poole does, when that trade happens, aren't we all just kind of like, there's D'Angelo Russell. There he goes. It happened again. Is he just Bradley Beal 2.0? And what I mean by this is, if you are a good stats, bad team guy, you're licking your chops when you saw this trade happen, because Kevin Garnett was right that he's going to shoot a lot. He's going to shoot a lot. What else is going to come with that? He's making like $28 million right now. Of course, you got to play him. Are we destined for, I don't need to leave. I got everything I want right here. I'm going to sign a 5-year deal. But 2 or 3 years into that deal, I'm going to start talking about how I'm not so sure about this environment. I'm going to put this stealth word out there that people are talking. And that teams are thinking about calling about Jordan Poole, right? And then I'm going to be like, nah, I'm going to kill that. I'm going to say, nah, like, I don't know where those rumors were coming from. This is my home. I want to stay here. And then once he's in a contract year, he's going to pump that same shit out there. And then he's going to be like, nah, I don't know where all that's coming from. I want to stay here. Washington is my home. And then he's going to sign another 5-year contract, and it's rinse and fucking repeat for the next, 10 years. Is that what we're destined for? If we're Wizards fans? If we're anybody who has Jordan Poole on my team? I did honestly forget about the Scott Brooks. Like, they think that that's going to be what gets Kevin Durant, quote unquote, home to his proverbial home in the District of Columbia. I don't know what the hell you meant by the prisoners. What were you talking about? Let's move on.
Beautiful. Primary control. Beautiful. Primary control. Beautiful. Primary control.